Well, as the commemoration for the 40th anniversary of the tragedy of Summerland fire, I'm talking with a gentleman who was there at the time, Noel Howarth. Noel, we've known each other for many years. These pictures then, unseen really, for about 40 years. I know the press used them, a lot of newspapers used them.
International press, television stations used them 40 years ago.
I mean, just this is from the start. I mean, the whole thing happened in, what, 20 minutes?
Well, the photographs I took began with obviously the first image of the plume of smoke, and it only took me 20 minutes to get to the end photograph.
I mean, the story you were telling me before we started, you just bought a new camera that day.
Yeah, I had actually, yes, a rather expensive camera. I hadn't used it before, and this was its first firing.
I mean, just now, I mean, this is just a few minutes in, and already most of Summerland is alight. Yet people are just walking around in front. I mean, some are looking, some are just carrying on with their business, and a bus seems to go past as well, as if it...
Well, I couldn't believe how the traffic just continued to operate up and down the promenade. Our buses were travelling backwards and forwards. A bus comes down from White City on Onken Head and drove all the way underneath this towering inferno and came along the promenade. And when I actually had taken all the photographs, I went to Kegs to have them developed at 9 o'clock at night, and the promenade was open, and I could just, drive up the circular road.
Didn't they leave the airport open that night? Because, I mean, journalists were flying in, they wanted your photos, ITN picked them up and all sorts, didn't they?
It was a bit startling. ITN flew in a plane at 4 o'clock in the morning.
4 in the morning?
4 in the morning, to collect negatives off me, to put on the 6 o'clock news with Jon Snow the following morning. Right. So I had to get down there to the airport and hand them over to this person from ITN.
Because, I mean, in those days, there's a bit of... I mean, we've seen the YouTube cine films and bits and bobs are up there, but it was very much in those days the still photographer who got probably the most definitive version. And in 20 minutes, I mean, we're still watching these pictures in awe that even now you can see that most of it has gone. All the aura glass is burnt out. The sort of skeleton is starting to be shown.
You couldn't believe the speed and of the spread of the fire. It was astonishing. It reminded me of that famous Hindenburg Zeppelin newsreel we keep seeing on television, and I was absolutely horrified thinking there were thousands dead in that place. And luckily, in one sense, it was only 50.
These pictures, why have they not been seen for the last 40 years then?
Well, after the initial burst of people wanting newspapers and companies all around, insurance companies, chemical companies all around the world wanting them, I thought, because it was such a sad story for the Isle of Man, and we all felt very guilty about this, I put a self-imposed blockage on that I wouldn't have these published anymore, and they haven't been seen now publicly for 40 odd years from the date of the Summerland disaster.